today we are going to discuss the second type of spectroscopy, that is carbon-13 NMR spectroscopy, right? In this case, bacho, if you look at the carbon's atomic number 6 and 12, and there's another isotope of carbon 6 and 13. So if you look at the carbon-13, its protons are 6, its neutrons 7, and its electrons are 6. So if you look at the nucleus of this containing 6 protons and 7 neutrons, so because of this, the carbon-13's nucleus, you can see having odd number of particles, can create a magnetic field around it, and it behaves like a tiny magnet. Therefore, when you place it in external bigger magnetic field, it splits up into two parts of, right? And they absorb radio waves, and then they flip, and then they appear in the form of peak in NMR spectrum. So that's all the detail which we learned in proton NMR spectroscopy. The same thing goes for the carbon-13 NMR spectroscopy. So in short, what I'm trying to say is जिस तरह प्रोटॉन एनएमआर में हाइड्रोजन की वजह से पीक आती थी, यहाँ किसकी वजह से पीक आएगी? कार्बन की वजह से पीक आएगी. And as I said, the different chemical environment for the carbon will contribute to the different peaks. So every carbon has a different peak. And as I said, all those carbons which are in the same chemical environment, they will contribute to one peak, right? So first you have to write this thing. Please write down in NMR carbon-13 NMR spectrum. Please write down carbon-13 NMR spectrum. Here it is. So first write few things here. Carbon-13, the carbon gives peak in this spectrum, the first line. In carbon-13 NMR spectrum, bacho, carbon gives peak in this spectrum. Number 2, all the carbons in the same chemical environment contribute to one peak. And number 3, there is no peak splitting in this. Okay? That's a good thing, that the splitting or disappearing of the peaks is not there in carbon-13 NMR spectrum. Rest all the concepts are the same, bacho. The carbons give peak in this spectrum. All the carbon in the same chemical environment contribute to one peak. No splitting of peaks in carbon-13 NMR spectrum. Yes, yes. There'll be no breakdown in the peaks. Okay, now let's identify the peaks in this spectrum. Before I go for this, I have to share the data with you. Look at this data, please. This data says that in carbon-13 NMR spectra, if you look at this, now here the same pattern as we used to have in hydrogen. Look at this. These are the carbons with the hydrogen. So if the carbon is attached with hydrogen, the alkyl, their chemical shift value is 0 to 50. No, it's the same data booklet. If you go to the next page, look at this. This is for the proton. And this is the, now look at this. Next to alkene, if a carbon that is next to alkene functional group, next to alkene, or next to benzene, they are going to give the peak between 10 to 40 chemical shift value. Okay? They're the same. Everything is same. So that's why I'm not explaining everything. The axes are the same. Chemical shift on the x-axis, absorption on the y-axis, right? So what about this next to carbonyl? So CH2, 25 to 50. Next to carbonyl, 25 to 50. Next to nitrogen, 30 to 65. So this is what the carbon that will be present next to. Okay. Carbon that is next to halogen is 30 to 60. And the carbon that is next to oxygen is 50 to 70. These are the chemical shift value. You're not supposed to memorize them. Just giving you an idea how you have to look at that. And the next, now, this was next to the functional group. Now come to the functional group. If a carbon itself carrying the double bond, not next to the double bond, जो ऊपर थी, that was next to the double bond. It is 110 to 160. Similarly, what about this? Carboxyl, 160 to 185. This is not, this is carboxyl mean, ये वो वाला C double bond O OH. So this functional group we are talking that this carbon which is having C double bond O, they are going to be peak 160 to 185. Carbonyl mean the one which is having the C double bond O in aldehyde and ketone. What is this? 190 to 220. What about this? C triple bond C, 65 to 85. What about this nitrile? CN, 100 to 125. So these are the chemical shift values. So you remember, now you have to clearly see they have highlighted, they have bold the carbon, which is next to the functional group or the part of the functional group. Okay. Now keeping in mind this data, or you can have this data with you. Let's do the practice. Okay, here you kids, you have to draw this type of table. Look at this, please. Please look at this table. Compound, number of peaks, number of carbons contributing towards that peak, and chemical shift value. I'll ask you one by one. You have to draw these molecules with you. Everything is the same. The reference compound is the TMS, and similarly, the solvent is the same. Everything is the same. The only difference is that instead of the hydrogen, carbon gives the peaks in the spectrum. Okay. Now, starting with this, Bacho, can you draw this compound with you? The first one. Draw this, please. What is this compound? Ethane, containing how many carbons? 2. How many peaks in carbon-13 NMR spectrum, Aries? 1. Because although there are 2 carbons, there should be 2 peaks. But as these 2 carbons are exactly the same, they are in the same chemical environment, so they are going to contribute to 1 peak. Okay? 1 peak. And number of carbons contributing towards that peak? 2. Yes, the chemical shift value. Now, what is the chemical shift value for these? If it is an alkyl or next to alkyl? Yes, so this will be 0 to 50. Okay, so in the NMR spectrum, you know the same thing. 0 TMS की peak होगी और 0 से 50 के बीच में यहाँ कहीं इसकी peak आ जाएगी. Okay. What about the next? What about this? Can you draw this, please? How many peaks in carbon-13 NMR spectrum for this compound? There are 3 carbons, so ideally 3 peaks. 2 peaks. Why 2 peaks? Because 2 CH3s are exactly the same, so they are contributing to 1 peak, and their chemical shift value will be somewhere between 0 to 50 because they are alkyl. Okay. And what about this, Hashim? The other one. इसकी एक अलग पीक होगी और रेंज क्या होगी? 0 to 50. Lelma, what about the next compound? CH3, CH2, OH. How many peaks? दो कार्बन है, दो peaks होंगी जी. Two carbon, two peaks. And range, can you tell me the first one, range about this? In which chemical shift value range? Yes, because it's an alkyl next to alkyl, so 0 to 50. What about Lelma, this one, CH2? The carbon having hydrogen attached but next to oxygen है. 3-4 line नीचे जाओ, next to oxygen. Sorry, 50 to 70, well done. So there'll be two peaks, one in the range of 0 to 50 chemical shift value, the other one in the range of 50 to 70 chemical shift value. Okay? Ayla, what about third one? Can you tell me how many peaks? Ayla, are you there?
Yes, sir.
होमवर्क वाला जो शीट है उसको टैग कर दें कि दिस कंटेन्स होमवर्क. जी बच्चे क्या कह रहे हैं आप? How many peaks in carbon-13 NMR spectrum for this compound? Hello, are you there? Ayla, can you hear us?
जी सर, आपकी आवाज़ बहुत ज़्यादा कट रही है. Can I rejoin?
Yeah, do it. Zoya, what about you? Can you hear me?
2 peaks.
Two peaks. In those CH3s की एक peak होगी आयला, Zoya?
जी.
These CH3s, these two carbons containing 3 hydrogens, they contribute to one peak. And what will be the chemical shift value range? Hello? It is next to C double bond O. If you say, I can see in the data booklet here. Look, Zoya, can you see next to C double bond O is this one? We are talking about this carbon, Zoya. This one. This is C bold next to C double bond O. No, this is 125 to 50. Aris, we are talking about this. Next to CO. Zoya, now you understood?
Yes.
25 to 50. This one, this. The carbon that is neighbor of C double bond O. Okay? And what about this C double bond O? Zoya, इसकी क्या peak होगी? Carbonyl. वो नीचे जाके देखो, carbonyl की अलग से peak है. What is the carbonyl की peak की chemical shift value बच्चों? No, down there. Carbonyl, वो carboxyl है. C double bond O of aldehyde और ketone. उसे carbonyl बोलते हैं और C double bond O of carboxylic और ester. उसे carboxyl बोलते हैं. Okay, there is a carboxyl and there is a carbonyl. No, they both are C double bond O. Excuse me, this is C double bond O with O. That's carboxyl. Could be carboxylic acid or could be ester. But this thing is called carboxyl. If this is C double bond O and next to R, ketone. Or if this is C double bond O next to H, aldehyde. These are known as carbonyl. Okay. So now this is, what do you think? It is carboxyl or carbonyl? It's a carbonyl. So carbonyl की range क्या है? 190 से 220. Zoya, is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ayla, are you back?
Yes, sir.
And I hope your internet is also healthy.
जी sir.
Okay, now how many peaks bache for this? This compound bache, it contains 3 carbons. How many peaks for this?
3.
3 peaks?
Because the neighboring carbon has 2 hydrogens, so n plus 1 करेंगे तो 3 peaks.
Excuse me. No, this
So
was all
don't
out.
we look at 2?
I think now you should listen to me. Okay, I'm explaining. कितने कार्बन हैं इसमें बच्चों? There are 3 carbons. Ila, we are looking for the peaks of carbon. Okay. Every carbon which is a different from the other carbon will contribute to a peak. Okay. If there are 3 carbons in this compound and all 3 carbons are looking differently, so this compound will give 3 peaks in carbon-13 NMR spectrum. Why? Because this is CH3, the first one, a carbon containing 3 hydrogens attached with it. Okay. So first one is CH3, the second one is CH2. क्या ये दो कार्बन अलग अलग हैं? Yes. Third one is C double bond OOH. The third one is also different. So there are 3 different carbons. So this compound, when passed through carbon-13 spectrum, is going to give 3 peaks. Now the range. Ila, for the range, you have to refer to this table, which says that the first 0 to 50, this one, okay, because this is an alkyl. The second CH2, that will have the chemical shift value of what? 25 to 50, because you see the third row that says that when a carbon is next to C double bond O, that gives the chemical shift value 25 to 50. And the last, but not the least, this C double bond O, which is carboxyl, that gives, niche dekhiye, 160 to 185. Ayla, is it clear now? Because you were absolutely in a different, tuned to some other channel, which we were, that was related to proton NMR. Okay, now we are doing carbon-13 NMR. हाइड्रोजन्स की पीक नहीं होगी, यहाँ बच्चे प्रोटॉन की पीक होंगी, सॉरी कार्बन की पीक्स होंगी, और जितने डिफरेंट कार्बन होंगे उतनी डिफरेंट पीक्स होंगी. ओके.
जी सर.
160 to 185. Okay. Okay, Aries, now coming back to you. There are 3 carbons. I'll come back to your turn once your turn. Okay, Aries. 3 peaks, क्योंकि 3 कार्बन है, तीनों डिफरेंट एनवायरनमेंट में, तीनों की अलग अलग पीक होंगी. क्या रेंजेस होंगी? The first one is 0 to 50 because it's an alkyl. Second one is because it is next to C double bond O. ये वाला है ना, इधर देखिए, पहले वाला CH3 है. The second one is CH2, but it is next to C double bond OH. Okay, so इसके next होने की वजह से ये 25 to 50 है, ये 0 to 50 chemical shift range है. And what about the last one, carbonyl? Yes, this one is 190 to 220 chemical shift value. Okay, Lelma, what about this one? 2 peaks. If you want, I can open it like this. It is CH3. It's a ester, na? C double bond O, CH3. G?
Would the oxygen matter?
Yes, it does. 3 peaks. This CH3 has 1 peak. Can you tell me the range? It's next to CO, 25 to 50. Well done. This CO, that's a carboxyl. What is this? 160 to 185. And what about this? It is next to oxygen. No, next to O. Look at this one, this one. Look here. Yes, it is 50 to 70. 3 peaks. Okay, next. Zoya, are you there?
Yes, sir.
How many peaks for this compound?
2
3
peaks.
peaks. 2 peaks. I think you were right. Zoya, these 3 methyl group, these 2 methyl group contribute to 1 peak. So 0 to 50 होगा. These two CH2 contribute to one peak. कितना होगा? कितना होगा? Next to O है ना? 50 to 70. Only two peaks. Sorry, I was trying to confuse. Two peaks only. Okay. Where is the third? There is no third. Okay. Next, all the carbons in benzene, they contribute to one peak. And look at the value. What is the value? Yes, 110 to 160. It's written here, okay? Here. Okay? Next. Okay, Ayla, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you tell me how many peaks for this compound? Range छोड़ देते हैं for now. Just tell me the peaks. Okay, I'm gonna range वाला अलग कर देता हूँ. You just tell me the peaks.
For the Upava CH3 or CH3?
Yeah.
Two? No, two भी नहीं.
Two peaks?
One.
One peak?
Because they're in the same environment.
Okay, how many? Ayla, say it again.
They're one.
One peak for all these 6 and 2, 8 carbons.
They're all
I don't-
attached to a benzene ring.
हाँ?
So
हर
they're all
कार्बन जो है ये डिफरेंट होता है ना, उसकी अलग पीक होती है. So how do you think these all 8 carbons would be the same? कि कोई CH3 है, कोई benzene है, they could not be the same.
Two
They are
peaks.
absolutely different. These two CH3, do they look like same to you? So they are going to contribute to one peak. And these two carbons जो in CH3s को attach किए हुए हैं, they are the exactly same. So इनकी एक peak होगी. तो कितनी peaks हो गई? 2. और ये जो 4 कार्बन है जो बीच में है, in चारों, these 4 carbons in between the ring, all these 4 carbons look like same. They will have one peak. So how many peaks in total then? There are 3 peaks, Ayla. 4 carbon in the benzene here. They contribute to one peak. The 2 carbons of benzene, which are here, they contribute to one peak. And then 2 CH3s up above and below the benzene ring, they are exactly the same. They contribute to one peak. They are exactly the same, so they contribute to one peak. No, उन CH3s की तो अलग peak है, but जिन कार्बन से वो अटैच हैं बेंजीन के, वो कार्बन, these carbons, they are 2 different carbons now from other 4 carbons of benzene. Because these 2 carbons are carrying CH3s, but other 4s are not carrying any CH3. So they can't be the same. I hope you understand. We are looking for the carbon and the different carbon, okay?
Okay, sir.
Now the next, Zoya, your turn. How many peaks for this compound in carbon-13 spectrum? देख लो और कौन कौन है, सबको इन्वॉल्व करते हैं. मोमिना, मूसा, मोहम्मद, आपकी भी बारी आएगी अब. What do you think? How many? 4 peaks? Lelma? This is a 1 carbon, which is no other CH3. So this carbon is having a unique peak, different peak from others. ये CH3 benzene के जिस carbon से attach है, that will have another peak. Now, these two carbons, so this is benzenes, let's say these two carbons which are next to this, they are the same. Same in what context? Because their neighbors and everything look like same. Okay? So benzene mein yaad rakhein, if you start from this side or this side, these two positions, they look like same hote hain hamesha. Okay? Similarly, if you go to the next two carbons, are they the exactly same? So this is number 4, 3 peaks. This is number 4 peak. 4 peak for these two. अब ऊपर वाले benzene से ये different है. ऊपर वाले all these 4 carbon were the same looking. That's why they were contributing to 1 peak. But in this case, these two carbons, जिनको अगर मैं चले नंबर दे देता हूं, this is number 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6. So carbon number 3 and 5, these are the same. 2 and 6, they are the same. Okay, so peak number 4 aa gaya, and this carbon, this is another carbon different from all other carbons. So this is carbon peak number 5, and the 3 and 4, because 3 के neighbor में कौन है? 3 के neighbor में there is a carbon which is carrying what? CH3. 4 के neighbor में there is a carbon which is carrying what? So they are not the same. No, carbons are looked with their neighbors. Yeah, how their neighbors are. If the neighbors are the same, then the carbons have the same environment. Otherwise, तो सब carbon ही होता है. वरना तो हर organic compound में they all are carbon.
Sir, could you tell the energy chemical shift of each?
No, we'll come to the chemical shift in a second. Yeah.
Carbon disattached over उस carbon के अलग peak होनी चाहिए.
So every carbon has a different peak.
उस carbon different बाकी carbon same होनी चाहिए.
No, not same. Every carbon should have a different peak until they look like same. The concept is other way around. Every carbon should be different peak. Okay. Next. What about this? What about this? Can you please draw this and tell me the peaks in this compound? Draw it. सब लोग अपने पास draw करें, जिससे मैं पूछूंगा वो बताएगा. Yes, they do. ये basically past paper से ही लिए हुए सवाल है. Please draw and tell me how many carbon-13 NMR spectrum will have the peak for this compound. सब लोगों से पूछूंगा, so please draw it with logic. How many peaks, Aris? Relma? Hashim? Ayla?
Sir, 9?
Musa?
11.
Zoya?
10.
Okay, let me write them. Mohammed? Momina? Okay, first starting. This carbon CH3 की एक peak CH2 one peak. Now CH2 attached with this carbon is ki apni ek peak 3. Then I told you 3 and 5, 2 and 6, they are mostly the same. Okay. So these two carbons in the benzene are the same. So these has one peak 4, 2 and 6 also have the one peak 5. They are mostly the same. Okay. And then number 6 with this carbon having the benzene, then 7, then 8, then 9, then 10. But these two CH3s, they are the same because they both of them are attached with CH. Na? They look like same. So there are 11 carbon, 11 peaks. Musa, you were right. Now, can you please draw these 4 structural isomers and tell me the peaks? First, draw these 4 structural isomers for one compound. Please draw the peaks. First, draw the structure and then tell me the peaks. Or जो Zoom पे है, you have to draw. I can ask any one of you to send me. The first one, Ji. Ayla, what about this? How many peaks? Ayla, are you there?
Still 3.
3 peaks. Can you explain which 3?
So there's CH3 on top and then
CH3 at the bottom, they contribute to one peak. एक peak तो इन दो CH3s की वजह से हो
carbon
गई.
benzene ring.
Sorry? 1 minute, I'll come to you. Ayla, what next?
Then there's 2 carbons in the benzene ring, ऊपर नीचे.
With which these CH3s are attached?
Gee, would they contribute to one peak?
Yes, because they are exactly the same. Their chemical environment is the same, so they will contribute to one peak. So 2 peaks हो गए. Now, what next, Ayla? 2 and 5 and 2 and 6 and 3 and 5 are the same or they are the different? In this particular case, 2 and 5 and 3 and 3 and 5 and 2 and 6 are exactly the same. So all 4 they contribute to one peak. So there are 3 peaks only. There are 3 peaks. Okay, what about this? Sorry, these 2 are CH3s. Musa, can you tell me for this compound? Velma, how many? For this compound? 1,2-dimethyl.
Is it no? One CH3, right? Then the other attached to it.
These 2 CH3 contribute to one peak. Then these 2 carbons with which these CH3s are attached, they are contributing to one peak. The next 2 carbons, which I always tell you, they contribute to one peak. 3, and then next two carbon, they contribute to 1 peak. 4, yes, you are right. Well done. Well done. 4 peaks.
But I did not understand.
Sorry?
I did not understand why they excluded.
No, which one you...
There's 4 people.
So these, the one which are highlighted, these two CH3s, the next two, and next two. Because you look at their neighbors, na? Look at their neighbors. Their neighbors look like same or they look like different?
The same and different.
कैसे same है? Can you explain?
The different कैसे?
उनके neighbors देखो ना. 3 वाले के neighbor में कौन है? CCH3. और 4 वाले के neighbor में है CCH3. 4 वाले के neighbor से दूर हो गया CCH3. They are different. Their environment is different. Okay. Zoya, what about this?
5 peaks.
These two CH3 contribute to 1 peak. ये जो कार्बन है बीच में, ये इसकी अलग पीक होगी. 2. Then these two carbons जिनके साथ CH3 अटैच है, इनकी एक अलग पीक होगी. तो कितने? 3 peaks. फिर आगे क्या होगा? These two की एक पीक होगी. 4. And this one की अलग पीक होगी. 5. So how many peaks? 5. Ayla, what about this? Ayla, how many peaks for this carbon-13 spectrum? 1. CH3 है, इसकी अलग पीक होगी. CH2 है, इसकी अलग पीक होगी. This carbon which is attached with CH2 and CH3, it would have a different peak. And then I used to tell you these two carbons, you see they have the same neighbors. इनकी अलग पीक होगी. 4. Then these two carbon, इनकी अलग पीक होगी. 5. And then this carbon, इसकी अलग पीक होगी. 6. So how many peaks? 6 peaks. You get it? Okay. Okay, we'll continue this. In the next class, we have to draw more peaks and then the questions regarding carbon-13. Thank you.